Hi everyone. So welcome to dinner at Dionne's. So tonight I'll be cooking up something quite delightful for you to enjoy. We're going to have some fun and I want this to be a great experience for everyone. So make sure you pay close attention and just experience what I have going on for you tonight. Hello my lovelies. Welcome to dinner at Dionne's. So, not only do I like to cook, but before I get started, I like to mellow out with a little music and a cocktail. Who don't like a good cocktail before they start drinking? I also cook with my wine, so that makes it perfect, right? Okay. So tonight I'm going to make a nice wine spritzer. It's something quite simple and it's quite refreshing because it's summertime. And we have nowhere to go, so drink as many as you want. It's quarantine. All right, so we're going to start with a nice, subtle and sweet Pinot Grigio. I'm going to take your wine glass and fill about maybe 6 ounces. Okay? And then I'm going to add some pink cranberry juice. And then I'm just going to top it off with a splash of Perrier. And it's the lime flavor Perrier. They have different flavors now. I think it's awesome. And because girls like pretty drinks and fruit, I'm going to garnish that with a nice strawberry. And look at that. Tasty. Let's see how it tastes. Oh yeah, I could drink a few of those. Thanks. So, welcome to dinner at Dionne's. First, we started with a nice, refreshing spritzer, wine spritzer, to go along with the dish that I'm preparing tonight. So, tonight I am preparing some Chipotle cheddar grit cakes. Yummy, right? Yeah. So, you know, being from the South, grits is like a staple in a lot of homes. And there's so many ways you can prepare grits. I love grits every morning. My mom or my grandma used to always make grits. So you get bored with grits being with butter and salt. So just came up with new ways to reinvent grits. We have shrimp and grits, but tonight my shrimp and grits have a little twist to it. So I'm going to get started and show you how it's going to go. So right here I have vegetable broth that's brewing up. So you can cook your grits in water, but I prefer not to because if you cook it in broth, you have more flavor. What kind of flavor do water bring to you? You may as well put water in your crown raw. Waters it down. You don't want that. All right, so right here I have some polenta. Polenta is grits, but it's coarser in texture, and it's a yellow corn grit. So that's what I'm going to prepare. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the boiling water. Okay, so when you're cooking polenta or grits, you want to make sure that you're using 1 part grit and 3 parts of water or broth, whichever you choose, because they're going to swell and they're going to absorb all of the moisture of the water content. Okay, and of course you got to add a little salt. Two pinches preferably. Takes a good bit to season grits, and especially these because they're such a coarse ground. And I am going to add a half of a stick of butter. Whoa. The other half of a stick of butter. Get that out of the way. I'm going to give it a nice stir. You ever had lumpy grits? You want to know why you had lumpy grits? Because you either don't have enough water or you're not stirring your grits. And having lumpy grits is the worst. I used to hate going to school and we had grits and you find lumps in it. That just throws everything off. Yuck. So the secret to that, using a whisk. So we're going to whisk up the grits real good. All right. And at this point, I'm going to turn them down low and I'm going to just let them simmer a good bit. They're going to thicken up. So while I'm waiting for this to thicken up, let me come over here and show you the grit cake. Okay. All right, so over here is the grit cake. Would you believe that those grits turn out to be this right here? Yes, the Chipotle cheddar grits. This is a grit cake. So what I am going to do is take the grit cake, and I have, right here, I have some, I forgot.
Is that panko?
I have panko. Right here.
This is panko.
Right here I have panko crumbs. I have egg wash. Egg wash is simply egg and water. And I have a little corn, fine ground cornmeal and flour mix right here. Okay, so I'm going to coat my grit cake in my flour mixture. And this is so that the egg can stick to it. Okay. And then I am going to coat it in my panko crumbs. And then I'm going to deep fry it. Make sure it's nicely coated. And I like panko crumbs over bread crumbs because the panko is light and flaky. And it fries up prettier than breadcrumbs. Put it in there. I'm just going to drop it in. All right, back to our cooking grits. So these are chipotle peppers. Yes, chipotle peppers are very spicy. It is a Spanish pepper. And I thought to add these to my grits one day because I just simply wanted the spice and gives it a nice color to go along with the polenta. And I like Mexican dishes. I like to infuse my food. I'm a Southern girl. You know, we like to mix it up when it comes to the kitchen, doing things in the kitchen. So I wanted to do something different. So what I am going to do is add my chipotle peppers to my grits. Look at that. And they're such a pretty color. Look how rich in color they are. You don't need all of them. You smell that? Sure you don't, but I do. It smells good. All right, so see how grainy they still are? We're going to continue to let these cook. Polenta needs to cook for about at least 10 minutes because you don't want grainy grits and you don't want them lumpy, so you keep stirring. Remember, no school lumpy grits. That kind of just threw me off for the rest of my childhood. All right, so we're going to go ahead and marinate our shrimp. So I have some headless deveined shrimp with the tails on. I deveined them myself. So one thing about shrimp in Louisiana, I love seafood. I love cooking with seafood. And that's because we get it so abundantly here. We get fresh seafood. We live near the Gulf. So, I mean, you can always get your shrimp and crab and fresh fish. And guess what? People up north, I'm sure you don't get this often. I'm sorry. But call me. I can get it shipped. Anyway, we're going to marinate our shrimp. This is a little marinade of basil, lemon zest, lime zest, some olive oil, and as well as some vinaigrette. I'm going to add that to my shrimp. Look at that. Yummy. All right. And I'm also going to add this special seasoning that I use. It's my seasoning. All it is paprika. It's coarse ground sea salt, coarse ground pepper, some onion salt, garlic powder, all the good stuff, your usual seasonings. Or you can also use like a Cajun seasoning. Down here in the South, we have lots of Cajun seasonings. You can choose to use your best one. But I am going to use this one. I'm a Cajun girl. I'm using my Cajun seasoning right here. Alrighty. And guess what else is from the South? Creole mustard. Now, you would think putting Creole mustard in shrimp is a no-go, but it definitely adds a lot of zest and flavor to your dish. You'd be surprised. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my shrimp. All right, and this is a little lime juice because along with my Chipotle cheddar cheese grits, I'm going to make zesty lime shrimp. So I'm going to add my lime juice. Look at that there. Look good already, huh? I know. All righty, so we're going to go ahead and stir all this up. Make sure you coat everything. So I have been cooking for quite some years now, and actually I started cooking sitting on a stool in my grandparents' kitchen. My grandfather was a great chef of Louisiana, well, one of the great chefs of Louisiana, and he used to work at this restaurant downtown. He was the executive chef, so he would always bring food home, and he would sit me on a stool, and I would watch him cook, and he'll feed me. That was the best, oh my God, that was the best memory of my childhood. One odd thing he used to feed me all the time, you all won't believe this, bananas with mayo. Yes, my grandfather fed me bananas and mayo. And because that was grandpa and he ate it, I thought that was the good thing to do, so I ate it. So, my shrimp are heavily coated in my marinade. All right, we're gonna come over here to our grits. See how nice and thick those are? This is when it's time to add the whipping cream. A good heavy whipping cream, so they can be nice and smooth and creamy. So I have my heavy whipping cream here, and I'm going to whisk it in. Now, one thing with grits come in a variety of different textures. It depends on who's cooking it. If you're going to cook grits and you're going to use straight water, you can have them. Thank you. But I like cream. Look how the texture changed in it. You see that? Don't that look good? I know. All right, now we're going to throw in the cheese. I have some sharp cheddar cheese. Okay, we're just going to throw that in there. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's an art to cooking, and I love it. That's why I love listening to my music while I'm cooking, because it just builds on my creativity, makes me feel good, puts me in a good mood. All right, so those grits are done. So I must taste them, right? Because if I go and fry them and eat them later on, it's no season, I'm gonna be mad at myself. So let's taste them. Yes, I eat food hot out the pot. Oh yeah, that's nice right there. Good old Southern spicy food. All right, so we're gonna come over here. I have a pan with a little parchment paper in the bottom right here. So we're gonna pour the grits in this pan, and the reason being is because I'm gonna chill them. Grit cakes need to be chilled, and it's going to be a cake, just what it says. After it cools down, it's going to get nice and firm, and you can cut it out in squares, you can do circles, however you want. My uncle used to leave grits on the stove, and next day he'll slice it and fry it with bacon, and let me tell you, that was good. All right, so I'm going to let those cool. And right here is our grit cake that we fried out. Look how pretty that is. See that? Isn't that nice? I'm going to put that on my plate. All right, so now we're going to get started on our shrimp. So I let the shrimp marinate for just a few minutes. Actually, to get the best flavor, you can marinate them for at least 2 hours in the refrigerator to get that good flavor in. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat on like a medium-high heat. And right here I have a little olive oil. So I'm going to add that. That's probably about maybe 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay. And to mix with the olive oil, what you think I'm going to add? Butter. I'm a Southern girl. Got to use butter. Butter makes it better, baby. So I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of butter. Go ahead and melt that down. So one thing with your shrimp, with this dish, I wanted to use the larger shrimp. You can use small shrimp if you like, but for the presentation of the dish, so it can be pretty, I used a larger shrimp. I like pretty food. I mean, if you go somewhere and you go out to eat, if the food isn't appealing to the eye, be honest, you're really not going to eat it, are you? So like I said earlier, that cooking is an art. So when I serve people, I want them to see my art. So I need it to look good. And I need it to taste good as well, because that counts. All right, so as my butter is melting, I have my seasonings ready. These are shallots. Shallots is just like an onion. It's from the onion family, but it's milder in flavor. And when you're cooking like a seafood dish with the sauce that I'm making, you don't want a heavy onion flavor. You want it to be quite subtle, but you do want an onion flavor to it. And I'm going to add this to my skillet. All right, so we're going to cook these until they get transparent. And yes, all of that butter and oil you see in the skillet, you're going to need all of that, because that's going to be the base for the sauce that I'm making, for that nice, zesty Creole butter sauce. So we're going to need all of that. And it's almost there. Alright, so one thing about seasonings. In the South, we love to use a lot of spice. We use a lot of garlic. We use a lot of onion. We use a lot of paprika. You know, we use a lot of bell pepper. Those are like the holy grail of seasonings. We use it in everything. And you can never get enough of it because it gives your food so much flavor. And even with the dish like I'm making tonight with shrimp and grits, yes, I'm going to use onion. I'm sure that, you know, up north or Midwest, you all may not know a lot about using onion in grits because it's a Southern thing, you know. So that's why I'm here to show you. You're going to want to come take a trip down south and learn something. All right, so see how my onions are frying up? About where I want them. They're becoming fragrant. You can smell it. It smells nice. Okay, excuse me. I need a sip. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my shrimp along with all the marinade. Look at that. Look at that flavor. All of that is flavor. See that, guys? All right, so I'm going to kick it up a notch. All right. And I'm going to just let that sit. I'm going to let it cook. Now, you're going to cook your shrimp until they become pink and opaque. Okay? That's how you can tell when shrimp are done. Do not cook them a moment past that, because if you do, it's going to be like chewing on a piece of leather. Okay? It's like eating a well-done steak. Some people may prefer that, though. I'm sorry. No offense. But don't overcook your shrimp. So at this point, we're letting our shrimp cook, and you can flip them over in a minute. It only takes maybe about 4 minutes to cook shrimp. It don't take long at all. So see why I said we needed all that marinade and all that buttery that was at the bottom of the skillet? You can smell the zest in the sauce. Flip them over. I butterflied the shrimp as well, because when you butterfly them, they just give such the perfect presentation, and you get the flavor all through the shrimp. And if you're deveining the shrimp, you may as well go ahead and butterfly it. Why not? Alright, now I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because I don't want my sauce to reduce too much. Cooking is so much fun, and I'm sure that a lot of you have experienced the kitchen more than normal because of the quarantine. But one thing is for sure, is that you can say that it is a stress reliever when you're in the kitchen. I am very much in my comfort zone when I'm here in my kitchen. It's like a load off of my shoulders. And people always say, you don't get sick of cooking? Do you get sick of eating? Alright, so see, my shrimp are almost ready. You see that? Alright, so I'm going to say another minute, and I am going to remove them from the sauce. Alright, I think they're just about done. What do you think? Alright, I'm going to take them out. I'm going to put them in a bowl and set them aside because I need to use all this good old flavor in the bottom of this skillet right here. So when I started cooking, I just used to like to experiment with different flavors. I mean, I started off cooking hamburger helper, okay? So when I started finding all kinds of additions to add to my hamburger helper, it was like, I gotta hook this up, and my little baby brother just loved it. I thought I was a chef then. Hey, I created something, okay? But that's how you learn. You experiment. Alright, so see this sauce? I'm gonna turn this down right here. That's all goodness right there. All goodness. Alright, so I'm going to add a little lime zest. And you just need a little bit because lime is real strong in flavor. That's about all I need right there. Okay. I'm going to add some white wine. This is Chardonnay. Chardonnay pairs well with buttery dishes, especially seafood. May as well go ahead and add a little to my glass. Refill. Can I get a refill? Alright, so I am going to turn this back up so I can start to thicken again. And for a little more rich flavor, I have a lobster base. See that? It's a lobster base, just like you would buy a chicken or beef. Since I'm doing seafood, I'm doing lobster base, and this is going to give it a rich seafood flavor to add with this buttery sauce. You don't need much, and it gives it enough salt. All right. Now, look how pretty that color is in that sauce. And see how it's reducing down and it's getting a little thicker? Now I am going to add my heavy whipping cream. So I'm going to add maybe a cup of heavy whipping cream. That's about a cup right there. Now, you see all of the flavor in the sauce? Look at that, you can see all the spices. That looks real yummy. Real yummy. Alright, so I'm going to let that start to simmer for a little bit. And then I am going to start on my saute. So this is similar to a beurre blanc sauce. Beurre blanc sauce is just a white sauce with wine, lemon, and butter. And actually this is like a quick rendition of it. And this is what I'm going to put over my grit cake. Just watch. Alright, so I'm going to move this to the side. And get my pan ready for my saute. Alright, so for my saute, I'm going to use a mixture of greens. A mixture of chard, arugula, spinach, and kale. Okay? And here I have some heirloom tomatoes, a variety of different kind of tomatoes. You don't always have to use the cherry tomatoes. I love food with color. I mean, even potatoes, anything that are different colors, I just like it. You don't have to be normal when it comes to cooking. That's your time to express yourself. And I love bright energy, so I like bright vegetables and bright colors. Alright, so I'm going to get a little butter to add to my pan. Yes, it's butter. And actually, you guys, I'm using a plant-based butter. And the plant-based butter isn't much different from a regular butter. Actually, to me, it tastes exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to add a little to the skillet. Nice and hot. Okay, I'm going to add my tomatoes. So I'm actually growing some little yellow tomatoes. Like I said, you don't have to always get red tomatoes, but there's some little yellow pear-shaped tomatoes. I can't wait until they get bigger so I can try them out. And I like eating tomatoes just as is. I don't even have to cook them. Alright, so this is my green mixture that I'm using. And yes, I'm using a lot because it's going to cook down to nothing. You can put 50 pieces of spinach and you're going to end up with 3. I promise you. So all I'm going to do is cook this until it's wilted a little. So my passion for cooking just came from my family. I mean, I have a family of cooks. My grandma, my grandpa, and that's on both sides of my family. My uncles, my dad, my mom, everyone knows how to cook. My cousins, aunts, everyone. I'm not just saying that because they cook, but these people really know how to cook. Yes, I can brag on my family. Alright, so that's how I want it. Just like that. Nicely wilted, and see the color in it? Beautiful. Alright, so we're going to go over here because what I am about to do next is I have some red cabbage, and this is just simply a garnish. You know, no biggie, just to give it some what? Color. Alright? So I am going to flash fry. Flash frying means you're just going to simply drop it in and fry it for a few seconds. Drop it in and fry it for a few seconds. So I'm going to put a few strings in here. Drop it down in there. Just like that. It's almost there. I don't want it too brown, but I do want to fry up to where it's got a nice little crisp to it. Because even your garnish you can eat. Okay, see, that's about all I want right there. Just for garnish. Alright, so my grit cakes, they're cooling off. I'm going to stick these in the fridge, well, in the freezer rather, so that they can become nicely firm. And the end result is going to look like this. And what you're going to do is you can take a cookie cutter, or you can take anything round. You can take a knife, you can cut it in squares, and you're going to just cut it out like that. And you're going to have a grit cake. There is so much fun in cooking. I mean, you can use all of your creativity, and that's how you learn. You can sit here and you can burn up as many dishes as you want, but as long as you learn from it, you can use different flavors. You'll be surprised at yourself what you may end up cooking in the kitchen. So one thing at Dinner at Dionne's is I can show you some basics. Tonight is not so basic, but it looks easy, and I'm sure you can do it too. And that's the sauce. Everything's ready. So, Dinner at Dionne's, it's been such a pleasure. It was fun. I feel so comfortable with you all tonight. And I hope that you all can make sure that you watch everything on the Seabass Cast channel. And don't miss out on all of the great things we have. Okay, so to add to my sauce, the shrimp that we took out earlier, I'm just going to add them back to the sauce. Just add all of that. And give them a good stir. I really wish you all could smell this. I really do. Alright, now this saute, we're going to just go ahead and plate up right here alongside the grit cake. We're going to go ahead and put our shrimp on top. And add a little sauce. Just like that there. And our garnish that we fried up, which is our red cabbage. Alright, so this was Dinner at Dionne's. I know that you all enjoyed yourself tonight because I did. And the cocktails pairs perfectly well with this dish that was prepared tonight. So, until next time, you all stay lovely.